Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be why I fucking hate Karens. Alright, so you guys, you know we live in a time frame of where we now have to call people who have to bitch and say something about any and every little thing. Get a life, Karen, Kevin, whoever you are. I'm going to tell you something right now. People like you are the reason why people either, one, have low self-esteem about themselves, or two, end up committing suicide because people like you who always got something stupid to say about somebody, the way they look, because why they don't look like you, Karen. Get over yourself, Karen. Like you look any fucking better, Karen. So today's video is going to be top 5 reasons why I fucking hate Karens, Kevins, and bleeding fucking hearts. Because I'm over the shit with people. So, number 5 Karen that I can't stand is the fucking mask Karen or Kevin. Or whoever has to make a big fucking deal about a mask. I'm going to stop you right here for 1 minute. Yes, I understand we are in a pandemic. And yes, I understand that there is a virus spreading, supposedly. But mysteriously, the flu has completely disappeared and COVID has taken over the world, correct? Let that sink in for a minute. So all you mask people out there who are flipping your shit, losing your shit, yelling at people, causing a big ass scene in the middle of a public place because somebody doesn't have a fucking mask. I'm going to tell you something right now. Everybody is entitled to their own preference. If somebody doesn't want to wear a mask in public, that's their fucking doing. If you want to wear a mask in public, that's your fucking doing. So, the person who's wearing a mask, guess what? You're completely, you're protecting yourself, okay? The person who doesn't have a mask on isn't protecting themselves. So if you feel so threatened by Bob over here who doesn't have a fucking mask on, stay 6 feet away from him like you're supposed to fucking do. Like, that's one thing I don't understand about Karens is you're all about going and blasting somebody about a damn mask, but your fucking ass can't even stand 6 feet away from somebody. You have to wear a mask and stay 6 feet away as well. Just because you have a mask on doesn't mean you're allowed to dry hump somebody. So, number 4 Karens are bleeding hearts that I can't fucking stand. And this subject may cause me to lose subscribers, but you know what? I really don't fucking care because I'm sick of how this world is, and I'm so sick of how if somebody makes one fucking decision because they feel like that's the right decision, you have 60 Karens over here attacking this individual. And this has a lot to do with abortions. Yes, I said it, abortions. So if an individual feels like they need to have an abortion, it's none of your fucking business of what somebody else is fucking doing. That's the problem with this world is too many people care about other people's businesses instead of worrying about their own fucking problems and changing their problems and their lifestyle to become something better, or maybe change something about you so you stop attacking everybody in the whole fucking world. You sit on the internet and you think you're like telephone tough guy because somebody makes a comment saying that they need to get an abortion because they have been raped by somebody that they have no idea who even raped them, and they became pregnant by that individual. But no, Karens don't think of that. Karens, all they think about is that individual is alive. I understand that the human being is alive, but also at the same fucking time, you have no idea what that individual is going through and the reason of why they want an abortion. You think that woman wants to live with the thought of a man who had raped her, that has already traumatized her from one end to the other end, and you really fucking think that she wants a child that she has to look at every day and be reminded of that son of a bitch who raped her that she doesn't even fucking know? But yeah, Karen, if that fucking happened to you, I bet your fucking mind thought would be entirely different. That's the shit I cannot stand about fucking people like that, who have to attack somebody when they don't even know 1 minute of somebody's fucking story and why they had to do that decision. That's the shit that pisses me off. And for you to fucking sit there and attack somebody because they might be going through something that you have no fucking idea, but because that baby is alive, yes, I understand that there is adoption, but once you become pregnant, you go through 9 months, you start bonding and getting a connection with this kid, okay? If you're a mother, then you would fucking know. And then this woman who's raped by a man that she never even met, doesn't even know, may not even know what his fucking face looks like because he had it covered, and is pregnant by the son of a bitch, builds a bond with him, and then, like I said, always has to be reminded every fucking day that this child was by a man who raped her and took something from her that she was unwilling to give. But yeah, you know, Karen, fuck you, Karen, at that point, because you don't have 1 fucking ounce of idea. That's the shit that pisses me off. And then number 3 is the other one that pisses me off, is the fucking people who are so fucking all about, that's inhumane. Alright, well, I'm gonna give you a little story, and I'm gonna let you let it soak in a minute, Karen. Let me take for an example a man I watched. His 3 daughters were kidnapped, tortured, finally gets his daughters back. Okay? Haven't seen them in years. May have thought they were dead. Never thought they were coming home. But Karen, let me guess, your kids are sitting at home, tidied up, all comfortable, in a nice warm bed, right, Karen? Because you don't fucking know anybody's situation, Karen. All you know is, let me get on the internet and attack a motherfucker. Because you don't have a life. And that's another thing. Everything that I'm naming off of, everything that pisses me off about a Karen, yeah, you're gonna fucking wish to God. So let's take back for an example. This man's never seen. This man kidnaps his 3 daughters, rapes, tortures them. For all in the hell we know, chopping off a finger, not feeding them, making them sleep in a cold concrete basement floor with no blankets, no pillows, because, you know, when people torture people, they ain't being nice to them, Karen. Okay? So then, you got these people who think it's inhumane that individual does not need, in my opinion, you fucking do something that's sickening, like rape a woman, rape a child, kill somebody because you just don't know why, you claim you don't know why, and all this shit. I feel like our justice system, why sit there and put them in prison for my tax dollars to just accumulate on this son of a bitch? And yeah, I'm sure I'll get attacked saying I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not a fucking Trump supporter. I'm not even going to discuss to you what politician or president that I go towards, because it's none of your fucking business. 2 things in life you never discuss with anybody is politics and religion. That's another thing people don't understand. So, why sit there and waste my money of a man who has raped, tortured kids, and let him sit in prison because it's inhumane to kill the motherfucker? But you don't think it was inhumane for the dude to sit there and rape these girls, kidnap these girls? That's not inhumane. That's perfectly normal behavior, Karen. Is that what it is? Not feeding them, letting them sit in the dark. God, who knows how long they haven't seen light, you know, Karen. That's inhumane. That's inhumane. Like, that's the shit that pisses me off. And like, people who go out and like serial killers who go around and killing innocent women are the biggest pussy ass motherfucking dudes I've ever seen in my life. Because if a dude stepped to that dude, he would fold within a minute. Why do you think he preys on women? Because they're weaker. Okay? But yeah, let's take for example Karen. Let's switch the story around on you, Karen. And let's say your son or daughter gets killed, kidnapped. You find them 2 weeks later, chopped up into a million pieces, and the dude's sitting there looking at you, laughing his ass off in the courtroom like, I killed your son, daughter, chopped him up, and whatever, okay? I bet your fucking whole train of thought would be entirely different, because at that point, I can almost guarantee you, Karen, that you would be sitting there going, oh my God, I want that son of a bitch to fry. I want that son of a bitch to get the whatever. You would think anything and everything, because you want to know why, Karen? Because the tables have turned. That's the problem with you Karens, is you guys live these luxury lives, which you really don't, because in my opinion, I think rich people have more fucking issues when it comes to like being more weird and all this other shit compared to people who don't really have anything. Yeah, there's a lot more crime among us, but you know what? We're not out here committing adultery. We're not out here committing fraud and all this other shit, and and all these mobsters and whatever in the hell else you rich people get into. So yeah, the tables would turn, wouldn't it, Karen, if it was your child? That's the shit that pisses me off, is look at it from both perspectives. Don't just look at it as, he don't need to die because that's inhumane and that's not right. Well, you know, the other person that motherfucker killed did not deserve to die either. But this dude is psycho and sick in the head and decided to kill him for no apparent reason, more than likely. But it's inhumane, correct? So we need to let him sit in prison and what, let him think about what he did? I mean, that's almost like putting him in timeout for like 32 years. So, number 2 Karens that I can't stand. And this is actually a situation that actually happened. Well, we'll do that for number 1, because I really think that's sickening of how Karens act at number 1. So number 2 Karens that I can't stand are Karens who mom shame. What makes you think your life is 10 times better because you live in a $500,000 home? Your husband is a architect that cheats on you every night with another woman, or has mistresses every freaking night. That makes you so much better of a mother, Karen, instead of someone who lives in like a house that's under $100,000, works a dead-end job, gives their kid the best life that they can, so that automatically makes that mother the most shittiest mother in the world, correct? Because we don't live in a $500,000 home. So because we don't live in a $500,000 home, we're automatically shitty parents. Correct, Karen? That's one thing that pisses me off more than anything, is I follow a lot of social medias. There's a lot of mothers out there. There's a lot of different styles of mothers. There's a lot of different style families. And for a mother who sits around going, drinking a tea, you know, that's so incorrect of how that woman is treating her daughter, because I would never treat my kids like that. Well, you know what, Karen? Not everybody was raised to where your daughter is allowed to date specific men, and if she don't date specific men, then she is ashamed of your daughter. Or if somebody's house is a little dirty and a Karen comes through and is like, oh my God, I don't understand how you don't clean your house. I have 60 kids and I can keep my house clean. Well, you know what, Karen? Maybe not everybody wants to get up and clean every fucking day like you, Karen. People have jobs that they have to attend to because, once again, our husband's not an architect who's having an affair on me every night. So, one thing you need to keep in mind is everybody is a mother. Everybody's not going to raise their kids the same fucking way as Amanda, Nicole, Bree, George, whoever the hell has kids. Nobody's going to raise their kids the way that anybody else was raised, because a lot of people are raised entirely different. We have different cultures. So you're not going to be raising your kid because of another culture, because they have their own beliefs compared to somebody else. Or you might have somebody who believes that they need to raise their kids in church their whole life. You got some families who don't think you need to raise your kids in church. But who the fuck are you to attack somebody? Karen, like, back the fuck up. Worry about your problems and your fucking issues before you go and attack somebody else just so you feel a little bit better throughout the day. And then number one Karen that I can't stand is the bleeding heart Karens when it comes to animals. Once again, not everybody's going to think like you. And this is really pathetically sad, because I got attacked so hardcore on my personal Facebook because of fucking Karens like you, bitch. And I don't care. I will stoop my level to call you a bitch, because that's what the fuck you guys are. You guys are miserable, and all you want to do is make everybody else miserable because you're miserable. And that's the problem with this world, and that's why I think a lot of people are so miserable, is because people don't know how to be happy anymore. People don't know how to go out and enjoy life anymore, because all it's about is getting on this little thing right here and attacking anybody and everybody that you can to make yourself feel a little bit better. Like I said, telephone tough guy. I bet half you motherfucking type of people who get on the internet and blast people and bring them down are people who could never, they would fold in a minute if somebody got up in their face. So number one Karen that I can't stand is, so I ended up having a baby, and I already knew that my cat was going to be an issue. Because my cat is a type of cat, she was a one-person owner, and she was very jealous of anything and everything. She didn't even like my husband. She just tolerated him, okay? She hated the dog. She'd always beat the shit out of the damn dog. So I guess she's no longer here, so I guess if you need to call Humane Society because my cat beat the hell out of the dog all the time, because that's not proper, and I was treating the dog like blah 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 garbage. Whatever you guys want to create in your little mind. So, I already knew from the get-go, once I became pregnant, my cat was going to be an issue. I kept her the whole entire time I was pregnant. So one morning I woke up, I had nothing but scratches on my stomach. What did that kind of indicate to me? Whoa, my cat's sensing something and she don't like it. But you know, I don't discuss these type of things with people because really it's nobody's business. And once again, I didn't want to get attacked like hardcore that I did. So that kind of gave me an indication that my cat knew she sensed that I was pregnant and she did not like it. So I let that one slide. Well, then I started noticing a change in her behavior before my daughter was born. She was starting to urinate all across the house, so that's why, as I was telling you guys, I was just taking my cat to the vet because she was sick. I didn't want to get into anything of she was having issues. So my cat started urinating all across the house. She has ripped the whole front of my bed to no end. She's never done anything to those types of nature. So the first thing I said to myself is, maybe she has a urinary tract problem. Because that was one of the first things that popped up saying, go to the vet and get your cat analyzed. I have spent over $500 of my own money or putting it on credit cards and becoming in debt trying to get my cat as healthy and stable before my daughter got here. So she didn't feel stressed. They couldn't find anything wrong with her. Her urine was fine. They even checked her for crystals. They did an ultrasound, perfectly fine. So then the next thing, pretty much what I was insinuating is she was getting stressed because of the change. Because animals can sense things. They're not stupid just because they can't talk. Does not mean that they don't know what's going on. As I started noticing she's getting stressed and stressed and stressed the further my pregnancy is going, I told my husband, I said, maybe we should get rid of her before my daughter comes, because I don't want to cause any more stress up onto my cat, because she's already obviously stressing. She's pissing on everything in my house, urinating on my couches. All my couches are done for. You can't, I mean, you can sit on them, but your clothes smell like cat piss. You have to put towels down. That's very uncomfortable. It's your home. You should be able to come in your home and relax instead of having to put towels down or worry if you're going to smell like cat piss. So my husband said no, because he had already knew the type of situation that I would be in if I had to get rid of my cat. So it's probably like about a month into me giving birth, my cat keeps on urinating on the couch. She acted like she was extremely terrified of my daughter. And every time she would cry, she would run like it scared the living shit out of her. And then I'm looking or thinking to myself, this is my cat that I've had ever since a baby. Number two, she obviously can't deal with this change very well because it's extremely stressing her out. So, and then she can't handle the screaming because my cat was an older cat. She's 12 years old. So her hearing's probably getting worse. So when you have a screaming baby, yeah, that probably hurt her ear. She ran. And then that was another thing, she was always hiding. What type of person do you think, of being a cat owner, do you think that would have been very proper to let my cat sit in misery when before she roamed the whole house? She would climb up and down her cat tree. She was out. When my daughter came, she was hiding. She was acting weird. She was peeing on everything. She wouldn't even come near me because she probably felt like my daughter was taking over her place. Because like I said, my cat is very jealous. So, me and my husband, I sat down. As bad as I did not want to do this, I felt like the best decision was to give her to a no-kill shelter. Okay? Because I felt like not only, number one, is my cat's behavior going to get worse and she could end up doing something to my daughter. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with her pissing and crapping all over my house because my cat doesn't know how to keep her stress level down. I'm not going to put up with her hiding and making herself miserable because she can't accept a change, because that was not, just having a kid was not one of the problems. We've had problems with this cat of change. You moved a piece of furniture around in the house and the cat would get stressed and hide for a week. You never saw her. So anyways, I gave her up for adoption. And then I kept watching the adoption site of where my cat was. I never responded to anything, but The Karens on there were saying because I told them the reason why I surrendered her. It's because she was not getting along with my daughter. And she wasn't coping well with her. And I didn't want to put neither one of them in a stressful situation. Because what if my cat got even more jealous and one night attacked my daughter? Because I, according to these Karens on fucking Facebook, are sitting there attacking me, saying that I'm a piece of shit person because I got rid of my cat for a human being. Well, if you feel that way, then there's obviously something fucking wrong with you, because I have to worry about my human being's well-being. What if she was to get attacked? I guess, Karen, that's more important. I guess that's okay for a cat to attack a human being. But then, let me tell you something. If a dog attacks somebody, it's put down and killed and all this other shit. But that's okay. So then I'm getting harshly hardcore attacked on my Facebook saying shit like this to me. Can you imagine what she would do if her fucking daughter doesn't cooperate? What's she gonna do? Put her up for adoption like the cat? How could anybody get rid of a cat because of a human being? Well, obviously you didn't introduce them correctly. Well, you know what? People like that should be despised of, whatever the fuck that means. Karen. People like that sicken me. People like that shouldn't even have a kid if they can't take care of an animal. People like that really disgust me and make me wonder about them. Well, Karen, you know what? If I was to get rid of my kid because of the cat, I would be attacked for that. So I get rid of my cat and I'm brutally attacked for that. So all I was doing, Karen, was looking out for the sake of both well-beings, Karen. I didn't want my cat to be any more stressed than what she already was. I didn't want my daughter to have to sit and worry about if she was going to get attacked by a cat, because my cat is very jealous. It was getting to the point to where if I was holding her, she'd jump in my lap to try to get her out of the picture. So that was already telling me, Karen, that I was going to have issues, Karen. And for a Karen or anybody to say, I can't even imagine what she's going to do with her kid if it doesn't cooperate like the cat. The cat was cooperating, but she was also doing things that she didn't need to be doing. And you don't even understand the situation, Karen. Like I said, I went and got her checked out to make sure everything was fine with her. So there was no health problems whatsoever with her, Karen. So stop jumping to conclusions when you don't even know the whole story. And number two, I'm not going to get rid of a human being because they're not cooperating. If that was the case, I'd get rid of my fucking husband. Like 250 fucking times ago. Jesus Christ, Karen. Don't attack people that you don't understand a fucking thing of why they're making that fucking decision. And that's one other thing, Karen, that I'm going to say to you. Is everything that I have named off that you Karens, Kevins, or whatever in the hell you guys are, who get up every day and make somebody else's life so miserable because you're miserable. I'm going to tell you something. You can sit there and attack people all day, but I can almost guarantee you none of those people would ever wish anything upon to you like you wish upon to them. And I'm going to let you let that sink in for a minute. Stop attacking people for what they do. Not everybody's going to have the same train of thought as you. Yeah, I sit at home every fucking day to myself, Karen. I don't get on internet acting like a telephone tough guy. And all I say to myself is, oh my God, that person's an idiot for doing that. Or, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody say that to somebody? Because it all comes down to of how you were raised. So if you were raised to sit and attack people, then that's going to be your train of thought. If you're raised to do this, then that's just what you're going to know. But also at the same time, you need to stop and think to yourself, for 1 minute, you have no idea what somebody is going through. You have no idea what the causes of why somebody is doing a decision. Just because you don't agree with somebody's decision does not mean you need to attack their fucking decision or their opinion. And these are the subjects that so many people get attacked for, or anything to that nature. And then that's another thing. Our suicide rates have gone up ridiculous because of fucking assholes like you, Karen, Kevin, whoever you are, sitting behind the screen thinking that you're so fucking tough when I know damn well you would fold in 1 minute if somebody actually stepped to your fucking face. And it's people like you who cause situations like this because you're miserable and you'll always be miserable. So stop making everybody else miserable because you're fucking miserable. Fuck you, Karens!